Well, hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. Now, if you're joining us today, you're likely one of the many marketers that we speak to on a regular basis who have just had enough of spending a fortune to acquire new customers only to have them leave after making one purchase. Well, we have an expert panel here today who are going to show you how you can start to break the status quo and drive long-term profitable growth by winning high-value customers who stick around longer and bring their friends too. Now, at any point in the session, if you want to ask a question, please submit the question in the box below, mark questions. So my name is Simeon Atkins. I'm the lead product marketing manager here at Mention Me. I've been with Mention Me for about 3 years now, and I'll be the host for today's session. Yinon, do you want to kick us off by introducing yourself, telling us a little bit about SodaStream and what you'll be bringing to today's session?
Thank you, Simeon. Thank you very much for this platform. So my name is Yinon. I'm working at SodaStream based in Israel, where the HQ is based, and we are managing a few markets, globalized market, around 20, where we manage in our department, the D2C department, the website, the email marketing, the SMS, the paid media, all sort of communications and channels that drive customers into the online world.
Perfect. And Phil, same question to you.
Yeah, so I'm Phil from Dot Digital. I'm Senior Enterprise Account Executive. I've been here 13 years, so I should be able to add some value to the platform today. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about how to deliver meaningful customer experiences and personalization across your marketing channels and your website.
Perfect. And Rob?
Yeah, thanks, Simeon. Hi, guys. I'm Rob. I'm the Director of Client Success here at Mention Me. I've been at the business about 2.5 years. My team looks after clients across a number of different industries, geographies, and a number of brands, including the likes of our friends at SodaStream, but of course, the likes of Huel, Gymshark, Luxottica, Emma Sleep, so a whole host of brands. And what I'm hoping to bring today is a perspective on how our clients think about customer quality, but particularly through the lens of advocacy and trusted acquisition. So I'll be a little bit biased in my responses, but they'll be added value as well.
Fabulous. Well, I think let's start with the logical question. What does a quality customer look like? And Yinon, I'm going to come to you first. When you're thinking about the kind of customers that you want to win for SodaStream, what does the gold standard of customer look like for you guys?
Well, we at SodaStream, we look at customers in a few life cycle stages. Me as a life cycle marketing manager, we use this type of life cycle stages every day, and we try to make customers come from the offline world to the online world, and from become prospects to become the most quality customer, which is an active customer. Active customer is not just a customer that buy once and leaves and never come back. An active customer is the one who buy our retention products, which is bottles, flavors, and the most importantly, CO2 cylinders, which is our core retention driver. We offer some CO2 options and services that meet every customer need, which the main one of them, the goal for us is to drive people to purchase the CO2 subscription, where you can customize the amount of cylinders and when cylinders will be delivered straight to your home. Depends on your consumption habits. So this is how we see active customers, someone who buys retention products, but it's not just here. We also see them as people who are engaging with our product, with our brand, sorry. They refer friends, they share feedback, and they actively interact with our email communications. They are not only purchasing, they are really immersed into the full SodaStream experience, which makes them more valuable and more likely to stay with our brand in the long term.
Perfect. And we're going to be exploring some strategies around how you can better engage those high value customers so they are, as you were saying there, then going to refer their friends and engaging with the brand in other ways as well. If I come to you next, Rob, with the brands that we work with, what do you hear them telling you about the kind of customers that they want to win ideally?
Yeah, so I think there's three key components, and it's getting from first to second purchase faster. It's obviously an increased level of AOV on that first purchase, and then of course advocacy in itself. And we will often look at the quality of customers acquired via referral and compare it to customers coming in via other channels. And the results are pretty impressive. I mean, with regards to first to second purchase, we've got a client in the sporting goods space where their customers coming in from referral make their second purchase 96% faster than those from other methods. So obviously quite significant. AOV is something we see over and over and over again. We often see referred customers have significantly higher AOV than those not acquired by referral. If I look at SodaStream in particular, SodaStream's referred customers AOV is 57% higher than non-referred customers. So again, a chunky gap. And then of course the advocacy component. Customers who come in via referral are up to 10 times more likely to go on and advocate themselves. So it becomes this virtuous cycle of advocacy, which obviously everyone's happy with.
And what about you, Phil, from a Dot Digital perspective and the customers that you work with from your perspective? And again, obviously, Rob's giving a great perspective around referral, but from I suppose the customer experience piece and the kind of brands that you're working with and what they're telling you, what does that gold standard of customer look like for them?
Yeah, so from a marketing automation perspective, it's great that you've got a customer, but we also want to have an active subscriber. So you may have customers that are not subscribed, you may have subscribers that are only customers. So trying to convert them into active subscribers would be key. And yeah, just having many data points, as much data points as absolutely possible on that subscriber. So that could be data that they provided to you at sign up. It could be transactions, or could be web behavior, and other data that we can collect. And yeah, just having the ability to use that data then to create cohorts like RFM. So creating RFM scores. So a high RFM score would be a quality customer, of course. The champions, the loyal, the recent. But it's also important that you've got a view of the inactive contacts in your database to try and to convert them back and reactivate them. And we've done a little bit of work with the likes of Cooper's Brewery, who have an online Mr. Beer e-commerce store where they sell all the things that you need to make your own beer at home. And they did some really simple tactics with RFM, where they looked at the inactive and the recent in their database, and they actually managed to convert them back into just using simple automation and email campaigns, and managed to convert them back into champions and loyal. And that actually increased their customer orders by around 800%. And then once they managed to do that, they were then willing to share user-generated content and reviews, and that really fed into the referral piece as well. So I think I'm looking at it from a different angle. I really get excited when I'm speaking to a prospect that has a lot of contacts and they're all subscribers and there's lots of data, and that's when I get really excited.
So definitely some common themes there, which probably won't be surprising for a lot of people listening. So customers that are, yes, coming in and they're purchasing, but you're able to get more engagement and more value out of them by nurturing those relationships in the right way, as you were talking about there, Phil, having those data points where you can start to better understand those customers and serve them the right message and drive the right actions from them. So that all sounds great. And if it was that easy, then we wouldn't have anyone joining us on the webinar today. But we know that it is very, very difficult to be winning those kind of customers. And Rob, maybe if I come to you first, again, with the brands that we're working with, what are some of the key challenges that you see them facing when they're trying to win these value customers? Like what's really keeping these guys up at night?
Yeah, I think there's two key pillars, and both of them are cost related. So something I hear over and over and over again is just how expensive it is to acquire customers on the more traditional paid channels, your Googles and your Metas. Those costs have been increasing and increasing and increasing for years, and often marketing strategies and acquisition strategies are so bedded and so married to these that kind of the ability to pivot is extremely difficult. Flip side of that is discounting. And I'm consistently seeing the appetite for discounting just continuously decreasing. I'll often go to meetings with customers and try to understand kind of what strategic pillars are for the next quarter or year to come. And it's very much, or very regularly, we need to move away from discounting. We need to shorten our discounting cycles. We need to be more tactical with our sales cycles. So it's tricky because it's really expensive at the top of the funnel, and then we want to move away from kind of discounting later in the funnel. So that in itself is a pretty significant challenge. The flip side, which is the area that we try to help with, is actually understanding what actually makes a quality customer. I mean, we had 3 wildly different answers, even from the 3 of us on this panel. But understanding what actually is the makeup of a quality customer. And of course, our angle is always going to be, you need to factor in advocacy activities. It's not just the customer's individual spend, but how much value are they bringing to your brand by bringing their friends and bringing their family along with them, which is often invisible. And I know we'll speak to that a little bit later, but it's top of funnel cost. And then it's characterizing like what quality actually is for our clients.
The discounting one is a really interesting one, and you're right. I'm certainly hearing that a lot from brands as well. They're looking to, at the very least, think a lot more strategically about how they're discounting, if not trying to eliminate it at all, because it becomes particularly problematic when you're winning those customers that just come in via a discount, buy once, and then you're having to pay to reacquire them again. It's obviously kind of destroying your margins. But with increased competition, particularly in the e-commerce space, that's easier said than done in terms of moving away from those discounts, I suppose. Yinon, over to you next. What are some of the things that keep you awake at night when you're thinking about winning better quality customers for SodaStream?
Well, for us, even before making them loyal customers and quality customers, it's to get them, to acquire them. So the main challenge in our D2C department is, as you are all aware, SodaStream was and it still is an offline product. People can buy it in every supermarket around the world, and the main challenge is to transfer those customers from offliners to onliners. And once we did that, another significant challenge is maintaining those customers engaged post-purchase. While our retention products, such as CO2 cylinders, as I mentioned before, they are encouraged purchases, and it's very essential to keep those customers involved. This involves promoting our services and make sure the customers know that it offers convenience and cost saving, and ensuring customers are aware of this benefit. It's a huge challenge because they have so much out there in the offline world, and to make them aware of the benefits of buying online, it's really hard, and actually to educate them to behave in a different way. I did want to add something about what Rob said about the paid acquisition, that in other channels, you usually pay a lot of money to acquire a customer. So in SodaStream, when comparing acquisition ROAS from social channels and refer a friend, it's actually a pretty great number of the referral delivers twice as higher ROAS than social channels. So it's basically the bottom line of the activity of the referral. It's just saving money when you acquire a new customer, and a new customer via referral, as Rob says, with the average order value, it's very valuable, much valuable.
Yeah, Phil, this balance between online and offline world and trying to optimize for both and make sure that both are talking to each other, that must be something that's coming up a lot in the conversations with the kind of brands you're talking about. What are you seeing there, and what are some of the other broader challenges around winning quality customers?
Yeah, definitely. I think, especially in the retail space, there's been a big shift to online, obviously, with world events that have happened, in the not so distant past, COVID, for example. But what we're seeing is like a lot of data challenges. So when I'm speaking to new customers that are coming and want to speak to Dot.Digital to help them, we're seeing a lot of data challenges. So it could be, poor quality data or legacy data. So we're talking about all of the really exciting things that you could do with RFM and looking at the data that you hold. But ultimately, if you've got some gaps in your data, or you've got old data, legacy data, offline data can be a nightmare to try and translate that into online. So we do a lot of data work with our customers as well. But we do have obviously tools that can help. But then back to Rob's point, cost is always a factor, because to be able to sort your data out, you may need to procure other technologies, other AI technologies, other CDP technologies that are going to help you do that. But once you've done that, you can get really clever now. There's some really clever AI tools around that can start to give you better data, doing quite little really. We've got a tool called ERFM, which is looking at buying behaviors in your database. So we've got the RFM, which is actual, recency, frequency, monetary, and then we've got the predicted ERFM, which uses AI to predict when people are likely to buy next. Interesting from Yinon as well on the obviously talking about paying, a handsome price to acquire new customers. We're helping our clients as well with bringing all their channels into one place. So if people are clicking on your email campaigns and opening your email campaigns, then exclude them from your paid social and your paid Google Ads, because ultimately it's going to be a lot cheaper for you to send them an email or maybe even an SMS than pay for a click. So I think that's important as well. So those challenges definitely ring true.
Yeah, so some of the key themes there, as you were touching on, Rob, around discounting, thinking more strategically about discounting or trying to eliminate it altogether, which is obviously very challenging. Yinon, you were talking about balancing that online and offline world before you can even start to think about nurturing a customer and turning them into a loyal fan. And Phil, as you were saying there, great to have all of this data, but if there's lots of legacy data and you're trying to patch it all together and bring it together in some kind of customer ecosystem where you can be talking to them in the right way, I'm sure people sitting along will be nodding away and resonating with a lot of that. So we've been dropping some breadcrumbs along the way in terms of what the solution could be, very, very subtly. I was going to say subtly, but maybe not that subtly. But I think we should get to the point now where we're talking about some solutions around this. And if I'm dialing in, I'm listening, and I'm nodding away to these challenges and thinking, what can I do? Let's start with referral marketing and how referral marketing can help solve for some of these issues and ultimately help you to win better quality customers. And Yinon, I want to come to you first, obviously, as a customer of Mention Me, as a brand that's really harnessing referral marketing and driving some great results. I'd love to hear from you what that looks like for you in terms of working with referral marketing and the kind of customers that you're able to win through it.
Yeah, sure. So as you said, referral marketing is a powerful tool for acquiring high-quality customers. And we have observed that referrals foster trust and reduce the consideration phase, which is the critical phase, where a friend or a family member recommends our products. Those potential customers are more inclined to make a purchase, as they already have an experience with the product firsthand or heard positive feedback. You use the product with your friend or with your family member, and you already know the product basically works. And moreover, referral programs often attract customers who are more likely to remain loyal because they are experiencing the benefits of purchasing online, such as convenience, successful offers, personalized services. And those referred customers tend to continue shopping through our online channels, integrating seamlessly into our system. This approach not only boosts customer acquisition, but also enhance long-term engagement. And I just wanted to share some results so people get some perspective. The Refer a Friend campaign in SodaStream resulted with an impressive 22,000 new advocates. Referred customers spent twice as much in their first 6 months compared to non-referred customers. And as Rob said before, 57% higher order value, while active referrals drove 200% more revenue on average. So the results are amazing. It's a great challenge for us, and we can just find some ways to make it even better.
You touched on that word trust there, and I think that's really the fundamental of referral marketing. And if we think about customers or customers that we want to come back time and time again, I think that first impression they have on a brand is so important. If they're coming from a recommendation from a friend, firstly, that friend's going to be recommending a friend that's going to be relevant for that brand, that's going to be ready to purchase from that brand. And as the person coming in, they obviously they trust their friend. And so it just creates this flywheel of bringing in customers, as you were alluding to there, Yinon, that are staying longer and spending more as well, which is something that you don't necessarily get with other channels. And Rob, if you can just maybe allude to maybe some of the other brands that we work with and how they're seeing referral marketing helping particularly with bringing in customers that are fundamentally staying longer and driving more value.
Yeah, well, I think the fact of the matter is referral is happening. You just might not know about it. I mean, every brand has word of mouth taking place. How much you drive it and push it and make it convenient and make it top of mind, I think that's where we come in. But I always say that word of mouth, we've said for decades, word of mouth is the most powerful form of marketing, but it's often invisible. I think if you can make it visible and more importantly make it actionable, that's the key piece. The thing about referral that I think is so important is that it is comfortably the most personalized, the most targeted, and the most timely marketing that could possibly take place. If we think about it, if I'm having a conversation with a friend and I see that he needs a product, I can speak to him about a positive experience that I've had at the right time from a trusted individual in the language that he understands and speaks. Like it doesn't get more tailored than that. The challenge is how do we scale it? But I think obviously there's technologies such as MentionMe that allow us to make sure that the scale component of that is kind of ever present in terms of our communication strategies. But I think there's more to it than that. I think understanding the characteristics of your advocates and of some of these best customers can help you find more. So whether that's creating lookalike audiences based on characteristics portrayed by your advocates, whether that's digging into the language that they use when they share your brand. If it's as simple as just sending share messages to their friends attached to the referral offer, we can understand that type of language and help you build that into your marketing materials. Or if we just go old school, just speaking to some of your best advocates. Everybody on this call will have customers that have advocated for them 5, 10, 15 times. Just think how much you could learn from a quick conversation with some of those individuals. And we've seen some of our best customers have those conversations, and it's dramatically changed the way they not only market their referral program and the way they communicate about their referral program, but it's changed the way that they run some of their D2C business, because this feedback is as high quality as it's going to get. Whether that's, and I can give you metrics like decreasing CPA by 15% by using lookalikes, and there's a ton of value in that. But the qualitative side of things is where it can really be demonstrably different to your business by understanding why people advocate and using that information to make sure they do it more often.
So I think we've got a nice idea there of some of the basics around referral and some of the rationale behind how and why it can drive really high value customers. Obviously, bringing them through the door is one thing, but as we were alluding to at the start, we really want to be able to create these exceptional experiences that keep them engaged and keep them happy, get them doing the things that we want them to do, like referring more of their friends or signing up to a newsletter, etc. So Phil, I want to come to you, obviously Dot Digital being the experts in this space. Can you give us some advice around creating exceptional experiences that keeps those high value customers engaged?
Yes, I think every conversation that we're having at the moment, it's all about cross-channel personalization. So, there's one thing to get your data in order, segment your data, build an automation journey, but a whole other kettle of fish when it comes to personalizing. And when we talk about personalization, we talk about carrying that whole customer experience through from your email campaigns through to your website and through to your app, if you've got an app, and even through to other channels like SMS and WhatsApp. And bringing in some of the advocacy that we've just talked about. So, the word of mouth, as Rob alluded to, is always the best form of advertisement. But bring that into your email campaigns. User generated content and reviews. Make sure that you're shouting about your reviews, your Trustpilot review in the header of your email campaigns, and the products that you're recommending to the customers. Make sure that you're talking about the rating on there. And there's other things and tactics that you can use with personalization. So it could be, dynamic content and welcoming somebody back to the website with their name. It could be product recommendations, but it can also be countdown timers, creating urgency, and other tactics as well. So I think it's important to have a solid referral program, but it needs to work with your customer experience program as well. It needs to work alongside. So it's only gonna add. So if you're doing a referral program, make sure you're talking about it, and when you're talking about it, make sure that you're personalizing, and make sure that you're connecting the dots across all the different channels. Not just email, but your website, your app, personalize across SMS and WhatsApp too. So we've seen some really great results. So Neil's Yards, you've all probably heard of, one of our customers, and they started using personalization on their website. And it was all about identifying anonymous users across the website, actually, and trying to convert them into de-anonymized users. So basically using tactics like exit intent popovers. So if people were trying to leave, they would capture their email address before they left. And then if people were shopping around for a little while and tried to leave, they'd actually have a pop-up which wasn't collecting their email address, but was actually recommending them some products. Hey, did you forget this? Do you want to add this to your basket? And that actually resulted in a 419% increase in revenue, just from that one tactic, targeting anonymous users and trying to get them to buy something before they leave. So there's some really interesting tactics that you can do with personalization. It's not all about personalizing an email, but there could be other tactics that you could run for data acquisition as well.
Fabulous. And just to wrap up the conversation, I'd love to go through each one of you and really get some specific referral and customer experience strategies that you've seen work really well, or you've utilized yourself, that you can share with people listening today. So Yinan, if I start with you, what's one strategy that's worked particularly well for SodaStream?
Well, one strategy is double offer campaigns. During special occasions like International Friendship Day, Mother's Day, or Valentine's Day, we launch campaigns that double the standard referral rewards, or just improve them. Depends on what we decide to go with. So these limited time offers create urgency and have proven successful in boosting participation. For example, the latest example that I have is from the last Valentine's campaign that we did in the French market. It delivered 112% increase in share rate versus prior year, the same period, and 47% higher in purchase rate, 111% higher in CVR compared to the industry benchmark. And I can share more numbers with others that just like try to go with the latest one because it's a huge success, and we plan to do it again and again and again, and just create also awareness of the program, not just buy now. Even like, okay, I will do it next time, stuff like that.
And Phil, what about you from the Digital side? What's one specific strategy you'd like to share?
So I think I touched on it earlier, but just connecting your own data to social media platforms like Facebook audiences, TikTok, and making sure that you're capitalizing on that. If people are engaging with email, don't let them click on your ads. Don't show them ads. That's a really high ROI channel for you. Email, if they're engaging with those email campaigns. So I think that would be my one takeaway. If you're using a marketing automation platform, go and ask them, can we connect our Google AdWords account? Can we connect our paid social to our automation journeys? And can we do retargeting? So that would be my key takeaway, and it works. It absolutely works. Studies have found that retargeting can increase conversions by about 150%. So if you're not connecting your paid channels to your low-cost channels, then you definitely should be.
And Rob, what about you?
Yeah, it's difficult to pin down just one because this is what I live and breathe every day. But the one that's been emerging for us, and we think the real means of strapping a rocket ship to a referral program is actually to look inwardly. You have advocates that within your customer base that might actually have perfect social followings for what you need as a business. And you'll have an influencer team that's out there looking for that perfect social following and ideally matching them to an ideal profile where you already may have customers who are buying from you, advocating on your behalf, who might have that social profile that matches what you're looking for. So your influencers might actually exist within your customer base and within your advocate base. So looking inwards to see if those exist can be really, really powerful.
Perfect. So I think just some closing thoughts from myself. I think if you're someone that's been dialing in today and you are, as we were saying at the start, really struggling with these one and done customers that you're spending a fortune to acquire and they're just spending once and leaving, hopefully you've got a better idea how something like referral marketing and then partnering that with optimal customer experience can really help to overcome those challenges and ultimately build a base of loyal advocates that are going to be coming back to spend more and bring their friends in. And Yinon's obviously a shining example of how that can work really, really well. If you'd like to learn more about Mention Me, how we can support with both your referral marketing, but as Rob was alluding to there, also micro-influencer marketing as well. If you've already got a rep, please get in touch with them, or you can email the lovely Amara. Her address is just there. And for Dot Digital, if you'd like to learn more about them and how they can help you on the customer experience front, you can email Phil or John. They've got their email addresses there. But other than that, thank you so much for joining us today. Have a fantastic rest of your year and see you again soon.
Thank you, guys.